Hello, everyone, and welcome to day one of our hurricanes unit. What we're going to be focusing in on specifically is, how do hurricanes impact the Caribbean region year after year? So, what today's purpose is going to be is really for me to walk you through today's lesson. Then, if you have any questions later on, you could stop this video at any time. You could shoot me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But let's take a look at what our lesson entails today. So here is a quick introductory video on hurricanes.
Oh, hey guys. Well, welcome to week 3 of our remote learning. This week we're going to be learning about hurricanes. So when you look at hurricanes, what we're going to be focusing in on, as you can see, it's starting a little windy. What we're going to focus in on is really how hurricanes are created and ultimately how they affect the Caribbean region, where that's going to be our focus, is looking at the Caribbean region and the impact of hurricanes. Because you never know when one's suddenly going to hit you out of nowhere. You can turn.
So when you look at hurricanes, what is a hurricane? And ultimately, how does it impact us? Because every so often they actually make it up here to Connecticut. So let's take a look at the actual devastation a hurricane can cause. So now that you've seen the destructive power of a hurricane, if you have not already done so, answer the question on today's Google Stream, which is, what is a hurricane? And I want you to really think about that concept. What is a hurricane? So take a minute and answer the question on Google Stream and tell me what you think a hurricane is. You can pause this video and then come back to it. Welcome back. So if you answered a large wind and rainstorm with destructive powers, you were correct. Hurricanes are formed year after year from various reasons, and we're going to be looking at exactly how hurricanes are created. Our objective for today is by the end of class, I will be able to identify the origins of hurricanes. By the end of class, I will be able to read and take notes on hurricanes. Our essential question for this unit is dealing with extreme weather hurricanes in the Caribbean. What causes extreme weather and how do people deal with it? We are going to be focusing on how the people in the Caribbean region year after year focus on how to prepare for these hurricanes. As we've seen in the last few years, these hurricanes have intensified year after year. Why is that? Is it because of climate change? Is it because the right climate conditions are there? But ultimately, what is making these hurricanes so strong? Because we saw that Puerto Rico was devastated last year. Other islands like Barbuda was ultimately wiped off the face of the earth. They had to rebuild the entire island. So how do you prepare for that? That is really what we're going to be focusing on with this unit. What I would like you to do now is I've set a timer in the Google slide. I would like you to take out a piece of paper, and I would like you to draw a map of the Caribbean. Draw the islands. You could also draw United States and Central America and the tops of South America. But I want you to draw a map of the Caribbean region. I need you to include the names of the islands, physical features. Are there any mountains? Are there any rainforests? If there's any major rivers that you can see from a physical map, you can also draw that as well. Make sure you label the oceans or seas. Give your map a title. Make sure you have a legend that identifies the colors and symbols on your map. You may also include a compass rose. If you don't know what the Caribbean looks like, simply Google map of the Caribbean or physical map of the Caribbean. I will give you about 25 minutes to create this map. You can start the timer now and pause this video. Okay, so now you should have created your map of the Caribbean. Well, let's take a look at the rest of this. So now you've already created your map of the Caribbean. If you've ever traveled to the Caribbean, you know that it is a beautiful place. Anyone could imagine sitting there on the tropical beach. So let's take a moment and reflect on that. Imagine you're sitting there, cool tropical breeze that goes over your face. You hear the rushing waves crashing at your feet as you sit there, digging your toes in the white, pearly sand. But how did this get here? Why was this made? And why is this sand so nice compared to ours? Because in Connecticut, it's rocky. It is not sandy like this at all. Well, come to find out, the larger islands in the Caribbean are actually remnants of undersea volcanoes. Some of them are still active, which are dealing with plate tectonics. We'll get into that in another lesson. But actually, the smaller islands and that white sand you had between your toes is actually fish poop. That's right, folks. Tiny fish poop made by the parrotfish. And a lot of it also is tiny sea fossils. So the next time you're playing in the white sand, just remember, it is fish poop. The Caribbean every year receives an average of about 6 cyclones each year. Tropical cyclones are considered the Earth's most dangerous and violent weather. They have different names depending on where they originate. They are known as hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, typhoons in the Pacific Ocean, and cyclones in the Indian Ocean. In this lesson, you will learn how hurricanes form and strengthen, and the ways in which the people of the Caribbean deal with this form of extreme weather. Now, when you look around the world, we call them hurricanes. But in the Indian Ocean, actually, we go take a step back. Our hurricane season typically runs from June until September. When you look at the Indian Ocean, where they're called cyclones, this typically runs from September through January. And then in the Pacific Ocean, they typically run from January until June. But this is all based on seasons and the Earth's and rotation and its relative tilt towards the sun. But we'll get into that as we progress through these units. What I would like you now is to take about 5 minutes, read the text in section 1 and the introduction. If you go to Google Classroom, attached to this document is a Google Doc that says Hurricane Reading. So take about 5 minutes, read that, and then come back. So please pause the video at this time. Okay, welcome back. So what did you notice? Why are the trees bent? Why is there flooding on the ground? Why? What else do you notice? All of these things are things you should notice about hurricanes because they have very destructive powers. Now, what I would like you to do is you now have a graphic organizer. Using this image here, I would like you to complete the questions attached to the document that says Hurricanes Day 1 Remote Learning Questions. So using the slides in the Google slide, so slides 13 through 15, which are these, I would like you to answer the questions. What do you see? What does the red symbol represent? Where did the hurricane come from? How do you know? You can pause the slides at any time as you answer the question. You can pause this video at any time as you go through each question. Why is the hurricane symbol at 4 different points? What might be happening with the hurricane at each point? In what ways do you think people are affected by hurricanes at each point? Now remember, as you're answering the questions, if at any time you need to use relative location, make sure that you do. Remember, relative location is identifying landmarks. I am west of Africa. I am east of North America. I am north of South America. So these are using relative location. So if you can use that, make sure you do. What causes extreme weather and how do people deal with it? This map, of course, is of a hurricane of the coast of Africa into the Caribbean Sea. Notice that the storm passes through several locations on its journey. At each location, people must deal with the hurricane as dangerous forms of extreme weather. Keep this map in mind as you try to answer the essential question. And again, our essential question is, what causes extreme weather and how do people deal with it? Now, I've also included another timer. This one's going to take a little bit longer. Read section 2 in your reading. Then once you've done that, I would like you to fill in the graphic organizer and answer the following questions about your geo terms for this unit. What is El Nino? What is extreme weather? What is meteorology? What is a natural disaster? What are tropical cyclones? So what I have included is your geo terms and symbol. I would like you to write the term and find a symbol on Google that you can copy and paste that you feel best represents that word. Under the definition, I would like you to create a definition using your own words of that term. Then I would like you to create a sentence using that word. So I'll give you about 25 minutes to wrap that up. You can now pause this video and answer those terms as you read section 2. Okay, so unfortunately, class is almost over. Just as a refresher, whatever you didn't finish is homework for the next class. I will be checking these grades around 3 o'clock. Sorry, not checking grades, checking this assignment around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to make sure that you've completed it. You'll be getting a daily class grade for each of these assignments. In order to get full credit for today, make sure you share a copy of your map that you created with me. So you could either upload that to this daily assignment, or you could simply email me your map, a picture of your map. If at any time you have any questions regarding this assignment, remember you can reference this video, you can reference the Google slide, or you can use the reading. In the readings, for those of you that like to use it, you can use SnapRead, and it will read it to you. So for today, we are only reading the introduction, section 1, and section 2. We'll resume with section 3 the following class. And again, at any time you have any questions, you can simply just comment on your doc and I will get back to you. Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to reading your work. And anytime again, shoot me an email and have a great day.